Okay, everybody. I deeply appreciate your patience. I do think we're finally live. If anybody is around to hear this tree clapping in the woods. My God, it wouldn't be a Malltown stream without technical issues, quite honestly. Okay, so Trebuchet, I believe, now Damcuff is not Permanence who we moved. Alright. We're live, everybody. Today's gonna be a relatively expeditious stream. Troper, what's up, my friend? How's your day going? Because holy fuck. Not even... The day today was fine. It was the last 30 minutes of trying to go live for this stream that was testing me. Chris Gio, what is up, my man? I am pretty good. How are you doing? Charper, you have tomorrow off? That is awesome. I am very glad to hear that. Hiuga, you are here. All right, I'm going to mark you as present. What we're going to do today is I'm not taking any risks because today was a last-minute stream, and I emailed people on, like... I emailed everybody on, like, 48 hours notice to let them know their decks were being roasted today. And so I am going to, like, call attendance, and if you are not present, I'm just going to reschedule you. Technoblade is the GOAT. I wish you luck with TF2. Anybody that wants a deck roast, the deck roast is a Patreon redemption. So you do need to pay for it. But you can sign up for the Patreon either via the YouTube stream description, !roast in Twitch chat, or patreon.com/Malltown. So that's how you get a deck roast. Troper, thank you so much. Oh, this hand is... They're on Grenzo, so we need aggressive stuff. Okay, Cube is here. So that's 2. I know Damcuff said they would be here. And then we're waiting on Crazy Moose and... Valk, what's up, Goat? How you been? So we're waiting on Trebuchet, Damcuff, Crazy Moose, and Rukok. I do also like this opt art. I'm a big fan of it. I think... This is probably the only turn. Rukok, you're here. Okay. Is it Rukok or Rukak? Is it hard or soft A? I'm skipping work to be here. I'm still self-employed, but it's maybe not the best decision. Well, Willpower, I appreciate your support very much. Damcuff, you're here. Okay, thank you. So, we've got Moose and Trebuchet. After we finish this game, if they haven't called in yet, I'm gonna start with the people that are here, and then the people that, and then if they're still not here by the time we finish, the people that are here, we're gonna reschedule them, and if they are here, we're gonna do them. So we got 4 people here. Oh yeah, time zones go crazy. No worries, man. Jarther, I hope you get some sleep soon. I'm glad you enjoyed the roast, buddy. I don't think we need lands at this point. Fucking A, man. Okay. They're probably just gonna spot remove Marchesa. Oh, that's interesting. They have Tybalt's Trickery in this deck? Yeah, sure. We'll discard... Silver Deputy is definitely too little too late right now. And then... At Knife Point is, I think, the next most poopy thing. Moose, you're here. Great. So we're just waiting on Trebuchet. And then we'll have everybody locked and loaded for the day. So after we do this game, we will probably just get straight into it. Ooh, I do think... Okay, Brotherhood's ending the artifacts just to get their Mind Stone gone is probably prudent here. What's up, Bear Jar? Good to see you, my friend. I do need the red pip, so I do need to pay 2 for this. No artifacts, please and thank you. It's already tapped, so you can't even draw a card. We just gotta slow down. We just gotta slow down the Grenzo as much as we can because heisting, stupidly good. Oh, god damn it, they just had another one. Now it really just depends if they have a land or not. I think we probably lootmonger. Yeah, so we're gonna lootmonger. We probably dump the basic swamp. They probably have removal for it, but it doesn't really matter because the effect is gonna go off anyway. T-Day, I'm really glad to hear that. That's fine. I am glad to hear that my stupid little silliness could get you through a rough time. Oh, yes, please. Most of the reason I like making silly little things is because when I am sad, what gets me through the sadness is to go off into my head and try to think of bits. And so we are very much on the same thing. That's fine. I think we go Flooded Strand, get something into play. Like, honestly, I don't want to lose any more life. But we'll just take their Massacre Worm. They have a 2 mana. Oh, yeah, they have a 2 mana answer. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, so they're just on all removal. Warlock, I do see the YouTube chat. I can't always check it as actively as I check Twitch chat, but I am watching it. Same goes for TikTok chat. I do look, but Twitch chat is where I am most active. I think we probably do just lose here to the 4/4 in the air because we've gotten a lot of like responses when we needed gas. That's fine. They'll get one of our removal options and we'll get the other. Sky, am I going to be at Command Fest Atlanta? No, I'm not going to be at Atlanta. I'll be at MagicCon Amsterdam and then I'll be at MagicCon Vegas, but I won't be at Atlanta. Let's see, I think we need... Probably want swamps, just in case I get a lot of black pips. T-Day, I do not currently play any other TCGs. I've tried to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! And I had a very bad time. I'm going to be trying to get into Yu-Gi-Oh! Again. But right now, I do not... Right now, it's just Magic. There's some other games that I play, but I don't really play other TCGs. That's really unfortunate. And we got another fucking land. My god. Not being able to... Okay, we just lose. If we had the mana to play... We flooded, and we still didn't even flood enough. Because if we had the mana to play Junji that we heisted, we would have been okay. But it's... Yeah. Yeah, Sky, when I tried to play Yu-Gi-Oh! So what happened when I tried to play Yu-Gi-Oh! Is I had seen I had seen everybody talking about how, oh, it's all like turn 1 combos and it's all like forever turns that end in you winning the game. And I thought that that was overblown. I thought that that was people dooming online and exaggerating and just hating just to hate. And then I played Master Duel or whatever it is. I should still have it downloaded. Yeah, Master Duel. I played Master Duel. I finished the tutorial, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna give you can choose between these two precons, and you're gonna use one of those two." And I was like, "Okay, I'll pick the Dragon precon, whatever. I'll do Big Stompy as I get used to the game." And then I go into like Rookie 1 or Rookie 3, whatever the like bottom tier of you're just out of the tutorial and now you're allowed to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh is. And the first deck I play against was like, I think Pendulum Summon combo. Every single thing was like that, and it was just the worst experience, not of my life, but one of the worst card game experiences I've ever had. But with all that said, we are going to move on to the deck roasting for the day. The order for today is going to be Hiuga, Cuber, Damcuff, Crazy Moose, Rukak. Crazy Moose, thank you so much for gifting 5 memberships on YouTube. Welcome to Dog Heaven, Crazy Moose. I appreciate you so much. For anybody that's not been to a deck roasting before, the way this works is my patrons submit a deck list, a power rating, a primer, and the deck in one word. The only power ratings we accept are silly to spooky to scary, originally developed by Danny Phantom EXE to describe how ominous each of your turns are. Silly, not very ominous. Spooky, ominous to those in the know. And scary is ominous to anybody. Your primer is what you think the deck currently does or what you aspire for the deck to do, and is a big part of what I will be judging your deck against. And then finally, the deck in one word is just vibes, really. It's just the vibes of your deck. So this first deck from our friend Hiuga is allegedly silly and scary. Fat Dragon Supremacy has one goal and one goal only: threaten the pod with mutually assured destruction, the likes of which we haven't seen since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Unlike history, I fully intend to launch the nukes the second I'm positive everyone, including myself, will die to one pudgy belly flop. I could see this. I could see this as like... This is like the parent driving the car that instead of saying, I will turn this car around if everyone isn't quiet, is... I will drive this car off a cliff if you don't begin behaving. Right? If we all don't tighten up, this car is going straight over that center divider, straight through the protector, down the cliff. So we've got Thember Chad, 5/5. When it ETBs, deal X damage to each other creature without flying in each player, where X is mountains. Oh, that's horrible. Okay, so that's the belly flop. Is you're in mono red ramp. Mono red ramp, pseudo landfall. Understood. And you can exert him to hit once. So silly and scary is a very hard line to walk. So we have Mountains Matter. Oh, there are tags, right. Thank you for catching me on that, Hiuga. Counterintelligence. Pyroblast. Yeah, fuck the blue players. Cuban Embargo. This is... Okay. So this is like, wow, I have a bad deck. Everything around this deck is going to be horrible to give my bad deck a chance. Except for Leyline of Punishment. Honestly, players can't gain life, damage can't be prevented is based as hell. Gold wins wars. The first 4 I immediately... Well, Atsushi is alright. Ancient Copper Dragon I hate, but dragons are cool. Dockside I super hate. I don't know that it's possible for you to convince me that there's a reason for this dockside include other than I like money, I like buying things. Expedition Map is good. Fire Diamond is... I still honestly don't like it. Goldspan, this is another... I'm gonna wait and see. So this is the treasure synergy. Is My deck bad. My deck bad. Must have backup win condition if Themberchad not kill. Therefore, treasures all over. And I'll have a little bit more to say about that after I finish. Oh, Leyline Tyrant not losing unspent red mana. That makes sense. Ragavan? Okay. Hydrogen Bomb, Twin Flame. Oh, that's how. Okay. Got it. And then Valakut, Molten Pinnacle, City on Fire, Plutonium Stockpile is a tremendous, tremendous title for all your damage doublers. Return to Sender. Oh yeah, dealing that to... Okay, these are very good redirects. That's smart. Same day delivery. Okay. Supply lines, Bone Horde, Gamble, Imperial, Imposing, Null Spine. Null Spine is hot. I think Null Spine is a... Well, actually, I'm not sure, because you do need to shit money to play this on the same turn that you play Themberchad. Reforge makes sense. Blaze targeted freedom delivery system. Vara Hellkite, Terror, Scytheclaw. How many dragons do you have? You have 16. This deck is too reasonable. Fully. Like, here's... Hiuga, you opened big with promises of a lethal belly flop, and then it immediately transitions to a, like, totally normal Dragon Treasure Advantage Engine deck. I would love to see you compromise on your bullshit much less than you have. I think this deck looks like it's so close to brilliance, and then the haters and the doubters got to it. I think Plutonium Stockpile is phenomenal, but I think what your commander wants is a ton of mountains. And at 31 lands, there is no goddamn world in which you are hitting these land drops reliably. Or you can say so, I just don't believe you. And I think there's too much stuff that makes Treasure... There's too much stuff that makes Treasure to not have specific Treasure synergies when you instead just have... Like, Hellkite Tyrant is your only Treasure-specific synergy. Everything else is just a money synergy. And if you are going to have a money synergy, you should have more of the things that care about you being breaded as hell, which is like Crackle with Power. Personally, I don't even think you want that many Treasure synergies. Like, I don't think you want Ragavan, because what the fuck are you going to do with Ragavan? Are you going to cast somebody else's spells? No, you need to cast draw spells to get to your mountains so that you can play your mountains and then play Themberchad. I do think Gamble, and I do think the Tutor makes sense here, because it is very important that you hit at least one thing in Plutonium Stockpile. gonna go out on a limb and assume the treasure generation is trying to make up for the lack of mountains. That, yes, I believe that. And also, you would rather have like 36 mountains and less overall money. Like, we're focusing, we have this is like, you came into your boss's office with a radical new idea to redefine the way the world interacts with belly flops. And then you thought to yourself, I need to have a backup plan in case the boss says no. And before the boss ever says no, you've already transitioned to the backup plan. You've already transitioned to, okay, well, I'm going to make $1 million and cast a bunch of dragons and win because I cast a bunch of dragons. Like, there are so many X spells we could be doing to really, truly make these people regret ever allowing you to play a single mountain. Because the stuff like Koth, the Planeswalker, God, I hate that I'm saying a single positive thing about a Planeswalker. But the... Wait, where are they? Oh, okay. Yeah, like Koth Fire of Resistance makes total sense. Both because it gets you mountains, it can ping your Return to Sender creatures, and if you ever ult it, you know, mono red belly flop landfall. And then even Leyline Tyrant, like, I think you could keep Leyline Tyrant, but you want to be activating... I do try to force the Thember win. Honestly, that backs up what I'm saying, because I want you to force it, and I think you have robbed yourself. You have robbed yourself of many useful tools to force the Themberchad win with, in the service of trying to get there. And more than anything, you want your primary plans and your backup plans to talk to each other. You want them to have at least one thing in common, so that if the primary plan fails, you are not totally dedicated. You don't have to do a totally different thing to make your backup plan work. And right now, Themberchad is going stage left, and the treasure stuff is going stage right, because Themberchad cares about mountains, which make you mana, and everything else cares about treasures, which make you mana. So you're getting to the same endpoint, but through two different directions, and you would rather have two different potential endpoints from the same path. I'm going to interrupt these messages. Brock DM15, thank you for gifting 5 memberships on YouTube. Welcome to Dog Heaven, my friend. Also, the Forever DMTM, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. And so the things I would say help you get to those are, you need more mountains. I would go at least to 35 lands, if not going up to like the 36 to 40 range, to make sure you are hitting those land drops every time. You want... Hey, look at that. Themberchad has a dressing room. Oh, Bean, I already called roll for everybody. We're just missing... look out for Trebuchet. Trebuchet is the only user that has not checked in yet. Everyone else is present. Honestly, even Urza's Incubator, like, and the cost reducers, I think you would rather have them cost just as much and have them survive longer. That said, I do think that's one of the last things we would cut. I would cut Goldspan. He does have Spawn of Thraxes, which is very smart. I would cut Dockside. I don't think Dockside has a goddamn thing to do in this deck, unless there is an artifact player you specifically want to have a... you're specifically trying to have a trauma response against. So we do that. We do... Yeah, we do that. We do that. Dragon Speaker Shaman. Do that. 5. So this guy costs, yeah, 5 right now, so we're 1 turn away. So we could, like, on curve, well, we're gonna Brash Taunter first for sure. So we could on curve do that. Boom. We hit everybody for 6. We hit another person for an additional 6. But we didn't get any of our... Yeah, we didn't get any of our draw. And we didn't get any of our damage multipliers. Now this time we have a damage multiplier at the beginning. So we're on 1, 2, 3, 4. We're absolutely hideawaying Spawn of Thraxes under this. 2, 3, boom, boom, boom. 5, and then I think we would wait a turn. Oh, so I would have played, so we would have done this last turn. So we're going to deal 3 to somebody. We're going to tap 5. We're going to tap 5. Ping everybody for 12? Oh no, it's mountain. So ping everybody for 8. And then, oh, we're still 1 mana short. Fuck. So I fucked that up. We needed to wait 1 more turn. And then, yeah, see, like, drawing Hellkite Tyrant here, who gives a fuck about Hellkite Tyrant? So we could do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We could get Fiery Emancipation down. So then we would Twin Flame. We would Twin Flame, and we would make another copy of this just to get to that, to do Spawn of Thraxes. We would deal more damage. I honestly think your hate is a little bit... The hate is a little bit unnecessary as well. Oh, yeah, the commander would hit the non-flying creature. So the things I think... Yeah, Hiuga, the assumption was I would be Twin Flaming Thember. So I think the plan as you laid it out in the primer, I agree with. The deck you have presented to me immediately abandons the plan you laid out in the primer, in the service of being afraid. In the service of being afraid that it won't work and being afraid that we need to shore up the things that we're doing. And so I would put in all of the basic bitch red draw, and by red draw I mean red card selection. So like Faithless Looting in immediately, Thrill of Possibility in immediately. Like, if we're being totally honest, Ragavan is only being played to make your table go, oh fuck, and a better way to make your table go, oh fuck, is to play Themberchaud with 7 lands, get him counterspelled, play 2 more lands, and then have him hit for 9. I think same-day delivery makes sense. I think you will face enough hate. And Inferno, this is a good backup win con, because this is a win con that cares about the exact same shit that your commander cares about, which is having mountains on the field. So in addition to Inferno, I would say Crackle with Power, because it's the same deal of I want to have 1,000,000 mana. And if we're talking about having 1,000,000 mana, you also want to talk about Mana Geyser. This will be more if the game goes particularly long, and like, let's say Themberchaud's been counterspelled 2 or 3 times, or has like gotten removed a couple times. This will get you to be able to replay him when you have enough mountains that you can make people regret being alive without needing to wait till like turn 20. Yeah, Repercussions is a win con with any of the red board wipes. I would also recommend Duretti only for the addition of Conjurer's Closet. Like, you want to have Duretti, and then you have 9 artifacts, and so you just want to try to be, because Conjurer's Closet is going to do a whole lot of heavy lifting, and you want to you're going to use this to either draw to mountains, draw to Conjurer's Closet, or get Conjurer's Closet back if they have boofed your Conjurer's Closet. EJ, yes, I was on Wipeout. Spire Barrage and Splitting Earth. Oh yeah, Spire Barrage would be good. Spitting Earth, I don't know if we want to commit an extra card just to pure creature removal. Yeah, like, honestly, fuck Dracuseth. Zan, I'm gonna ban you for that. I'm gonna ban you for suggesting Baton of Morale. You son of a bitch. You absolute jokester. But like, yeah, Sword of the Animist is very good. This would be horrible. Oh, Bitterthorn would also be... Bitterthorn is somewhat reasonable for this deck. It really depends on how aggressive the table is. But anything that will let you search lands to field. Oh yeah, anything with mountain cycling, also very good. Don't do Ecologist Terrarium. That's honestly, that one's pretty bad. Crucible of Worlds to counter land removal. Honestly, if people are able to remove your basic mountains to hate out your Themberchaud strategy, you have to settle that in the parking lot, not at the table. Honestly, would not sleep too hard on Journeyer's Kite. It is a bad card. I will give you that. Counterpoint, 16 cents. And if you are ever gassing out, no matter what, you can get one more mountain to count towards your eventual win condition. Like, no matter what, this is 3 mana, get closer to Inferno, Crackle with Power, and Themberchaud winning. So that's what I would do, is you had a beautiful idea, and then the vagaries of trying to actually play Magic the Gathering cowed you into doing generic dragon bullshit and generic treasure bullshit. And no, do stupid stuff. Do stupid mono red lands matter. I believe in you. What's up, Sea Sheep? Francisco and anybody else who's wondering, you get a deck review by signing up for my Patreon, which is available via the YouTube, the link, or the YouTube stream description, my TikTok link tree, and on Twitch with the command !roast. Give me 1 second, I gotta send a text. You got cowed by Urza and Kinnan. I mean, if you're playing this against Urza and Kinnan, honestly, the gimmick is kind of rough, but I don't think that gets better by trying. Like, the second thing you've done is not necessarily stronger, it's just mainstream. If it's Urza and Kinnan, you could maybe put in a few more responses that are like Vandal Blast or other sweeper board wipes. But that's even more reason that you need more draw. Like, you need to get to your thing. Playing Ragavan doesn't do shit to stop Urza and Kinnan. But playing Faithless Looting to like get to your gamble, to get to City on Fire so that Themberchild can actually kill Kinnan, that's what matters. Murder is what matters. We're going to move on to Cuber Drakel's Spooky deck. This is my most recent deck and my first foray into monocolor. I mostly want to hear your thoughts, but any suggestions for cards is appreciated. Some monocolor keyword soup has some nasty things in it, causes me to apologize when playing sometimes. In one word, the deck is sorry. What color is it though? Oh, you're going to hell. Oh yeah, everybody's first mono black deck is like their gray point. Like, we all remember when we were in middle school and you like didn't know you could hurt other people's feelings, and so you just said the most out-of-pocket shit imaginable. That is every Magic the Gathering player's first mono black deck, and I will not hear differently. Also, Hunwin, thank you for becoming a member on YouTube. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. So Henrika Domnathi, at the beginning of combat, each player sacks a creature, you draw a card, lose one, or you transform her into a flying Death Touch lifelinker that you can pay mana into to buff your creatures with flying Death Touch and lifelink. And this is not, you may think, wow, that commander doesn't really have a set theme. What could the theme be? If it's mono black, the theme is fuck you die. Alright, so we got 6 sorceries, which is, honestly, fuck the token players. This one is real. Fuck the token players again. Well, on turn 4, I mean, that's just a board wipe. That is just a board wipe. Oh, you have tags. Okay. My bad, Cube. Thank you. No! He don't bite. Extort in a mono black keyword soup deck is crazy. I am Dave the Necromancer, and this is an unboxing video. Theft is good. Table flip. I mean, board wipe, yes. I mean, -X. Nah, no table flip. This is the most responsible way to board wipe. You're real. Bring out the Ouija board. I love the tag game that has been evolving since we started doing these. 32 lands is a little... We'll look at your curve. Oversold Cemetery, Phyrexian Reclamation. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Dave's Crematorium, you kill him, we grill him. Loses, you gain. Yeah, Blood Artist, Extremely Large Sun. Don't have a joke, it's just a dude. Hey, he's no joke. But he's got all the keywords, and that's what matters. Fuck that guy in particular. Well, fuck that guy that other guy points at in particular. Oh, Woblet is crazy. I'll be honest, this was cute until Oblet, and then it's like, that's like throwing bricks at people from the freeway. This is like Boys Will Be Boys, like roughhousing and making jokes about balls, and then throwing bricks off an overpass onto cars. Patron of the Vein makes sense if you stay in vampires. Go Power Rangers. Tabaraks. Crime. Okay, so this is a fairly low power deck, which is reasonable. Oubliette. Thank you very much, Peters, for catching that. I dislike your hand. I mean, Flying Lifelink, sure, but this is otherwise just a bad card. Similarly, yeah. Herald of Anguish is like... Hand Rip on end step is at least better. That's better than, like, Goldaz. Horrible. This one's okay. Unhealth insurance. Veto is at least a way to turn your life loss. Okay, this is what I was mostly concerned about. Is like, so far it was just, okay, everything has keywords. What the fuck are we doing, though? So, Blood Pact. Oh no, this is just dig. This isn't even the win con. Wet Forest. That's the best description of a swamp I've ever seen. Smells like green in here. Alright, so we're buffing our board. I mean, okay. This is a deck with Henrika Domnathi as the commander, and it is mono black, and it needs a personality very, very badly. It is assuredly you have some very mean things in here. You have a lot of not mean things in here, but you have some things that are very, very mean. This curve is horrendous. This is like pure Italian Parmigiano Reggiano wheel up in here. 13 permanents between 6 and 7 mana. It looks like this deck was built from... I have the commander, and so as long as it has one of the keywords my commander cares about, it's on theme. And that is technically true, but only barely technically. This is like... You know, like when a teenager is trying to figure out what they're going to do with their life and what job they're going to get, and they go, man, I do like money. That is what this deck is. This deck is trying to think about who it wants to marry one day, and the only idea it has is that it likes titties. And we need to give it, like, before we can even talk about what the deck should have or shouldn't have, or whether something is too mean, there needs to be a way to win. We need to go back to the Foghorn Leghorn ABCs of, you've picked your commander. You need to pick like five-ish, maybe 5 to 8 cards that you think will bring the game to a succinct end. You have a ton of creatures. And so getting a ton of creatures out and getting a very, very wide board could certainly be the way that you do it. But black is never going to get those creatures out by doing some removal and then casting them on curve, or even by getting them one at a time out of the graveyard. You want shit like Bringer of the Last Gift. Like, you want to mill yourself, and then after you mill yourself, hit him with the Schnasty, and then you spend 2 mana, you give your whole board +2/+0, and you swing for the fences and you pray. Like if we're gonna have a $300 deck, 8 of those dollars should be Rise of the Dark Realms. Sangir Vampire. Absolutely not. Shut the fuck up. So we want to say mill. In mono black, it's a little bit harder, but it is possible. So you need her. This is better card draw. You want the new Barrogoyf. You want Blight Titan. Just we're just ripping them straight off. Breach is also okay. You want Cemetery Tampering. Oh, Out of the Tombs, Rocklifter, thank you. Yes, that's very good. Stitcher Supplier is okay. I'm looking for more repeatable sources first. 17 Badgers. We could move over to Aristocrats, but then Aristocrats doesn't really, like, nothing Aristocrats is doing gives a shit about Henrika Domnathi. And notably, everything we've picked so far, we want things that say flying, that say death touch, and that say lifelink. We have something that mills us that says flying. We have something that mills us that says death touch and lifelink. We have something that mills us that says death touch. So these cards, these creatures, keep us on the theme that the deck is already at, but helps mill us and gives us advantage for that mill. Well, not Angel of Suffering, but we're going to get there with cards like Breach the Multiverse, with Cemetery Tampering. Oh, Putrid Imp. Oh, this is the wrong imp. There's definitely an imp that does it. Where's the Dredge Imp? Is Ripples of Undeath unviable? Yeah, Cube, and that idea of make a large board state and swing with Domnathi buffs while starving your opponent for resources, that is what the self-mill plan is, because mono black is simply never going to make the mana to assemble a large board state at a reasonable time. Stinkweed Imp. Got it. And so that is the deck. That is the deck I am endeavoring to give you suggestions for right now. Because what you want to do is play on curve roughly, but the way you want to close the game out is Bringer of the Last Gift or Rise of the Dark Realms, or even include one of the Lilianas, because right now this deck looks like it fumbles at the 30-yard line every single time. Honestly, Death Mage, thematic, low power, this is not a very great card. This is not a very great card. Might Shard of the Dragon. You need to put on the entire Kendrick Lamar discography and learn how to really hate to make this deck better. Because right now, this deck wants to be mean and it wants to win, but it hates in a very youthful, unfocused way. It's listening to rock music. It's mad at everybody. You need to hate like Kendrick Lamar. You need to hate them because of their stupid ass braids. You need to hate the way they tie their shoelaces. You need to hate the way their aglets shine in the moonlight. Like, you need to start hating very specifically and very aggressively. And the way we're going to hate specifically or aggressively is replacing the more generic things that just happen to have the keywords you care about with things that are going to mill you and build you toward this big bringer of the last gift board explosion while still having the keywords you care about. We don't need to depart from the theme of keyword soup to do this. This is too expensive to not Badgers. This is the right levels of hatred, but it is not on theme for our hatred. Also, Ripples of Undeath, I'm going to say it now, one of the best new commander staple. I shudder to think of a commander deck that has access to black that does not want Ripples of Undeath. Just fully. I played against it. I played against this in draft, and in draft it was obviously broken, but yeah, Ripples of Undeath, it does what this deck cares about, but it also does what every fucking deck cares about. That card may as well say draw 4, discard 2. No, Soren Markov's not strong enough. Conrad does not work with the... Conrad works with the mill, but he doesn't work with your commander, and we want it to either work with your commander or work with the entire rest of the deck. So I would agree no Conrad. But I would put in all those mill things. I would probably cut... Like, Abhorrent Overlord is terrible. Yeah, as Talamar said, add 3 lands, and then get all of those self-millers. Oh, no, because we don't want to necessarily sack all our stuff. Because yeah, right now the archetype is this has a keyword that Henrika Damnathny has, and if you want to stay that broad, I would say you should certainly go the self-mill route with those additional creatures to give yourself a more dedicated way to actually close out the game. I don't think you need to add any of the like 2-card things like Exquisite Blood, Sanguine Bond, because I don't think it's very on theme. I think the destination we still want to get to is I have a really big board that Henrika can buff, and the way we get there is you self-mill, and then you explode with Bringer of the Last Gift, you explode with Rise of the Dark Realms, you trickle with Oversold Cemetery and Phyrexian Reclamation. I think Bantus makes sense. Yeah, like I think a lot of your ramp makes sense. You definitely need more lands. You do not have enough pans to cook with, my friend. Yeah, like right now you're a troubled teen, and we can absolutely turn this deck into a flight risk but we got to do it. We got to do it with some dedicated win conditions. And then as you work on that win condition, if you don't like it, you can always change, but the focus still needs to be, how do I win? And then after how I win, how do I get to that win? And if the win con is big wide board full of keywords Henrika cares about, we can do that. Oh yeah, mesmeric orb. Mesmerize these orbs. It is expensive, and so you may not be able to fit it in on the budget. Another... Oh, Out of the Tombs would be so perfect. Because this is just... boom, recur. Boom, recur. Boom, recur. Right? Even when you mill yourself all the way out, you just recur your board and it's $2. So yeah, get that in yesterday. We're going to move on to Damn Cuff's deck, which is silly and spooky. This deck was inspired when my buddy told me he'd rather go out with a full grip than win with no cards in hand. It's basically a Nekusar deck without any wheels. Oh god, not a deck that says, I don't want to win. Let's draw cards. $600, 39 lands, very responsible. So Vial Smasher, at least we have a way to deal some fucking damage. And then make a bunch of mana when you've drawn cards. So Obnixilis. Okay, we've got a little draw hate. What are our creatures? We care about drawing. We're gonna draw so many fucking cards. We're gonna draw some cards. We care about drawing. We care about drawing. Ooh. Oh my god, is this coherent? This deck looks a little coherent. Oh, there are tags, Damn Cup. Thank you for... This hurts you. Very to the point. Okay, what do we have in control? Yeah, sure. Reasonable amount of control. Oops. We have some ramp. We have some protection and max hand size stuff. The first, ladies and gentlemen, we have a world first on theme Orcish Bowmasters. First ever seen on this Twitch channel. We have an Orcish Bowmasters that deserves to be here. Price of Knowledge, Psychosis Crawler. Oh, I like this. Because honestly, with how many cards you're going to be giving people, if they cannot just win faster than you can kill them with Orcish Bowmasters and Ironcrag Pyromancer, they deserve to die. Like, this is... You are giving them every chance in the world. Damn, she fine as hell. Abigail Chamberlain Games, thank you very much for the Twitch sub. Welcome to the dog home, my friend. Alright, let's playtest this junk. We're gonna, I guess, pretend that we're... Yeah, green Nekusar goes crazy. Swamp or forest, do we have the... We're gonna pretend this was a Triome we could grab. And then there's nothing that we care about playing on turn 2. So then we'll do this. I personally think we want to Chasm Skulk early. And then... we play more. We don't have anything that lets us like really go off. There we go. Font of Mythos, do some damage. This is getting big. We could tap our mana in such a way that everybody draws, and we make this even bigger, however big it is. And then we have Nekusar. I think this is a really good mid-power deck. I don't think you have a like any one thing that says, I don't think you have a very hard win con, but I think you have enough things in here that punch people in the nuts for drawing cards that you will move the game forward and eventually the game will end. And I think that's what's most important. I wanted Xyrus, that's literally it. Yeah, honestly, Xyrus is fucked up, and you get points for not making Xyrus the commander because Xyrus is... I guess you wanted black. You wanted Xyrus and Nekusar, which, thank God, because your greed is the only thing keeping this deck at a spooky power level. Xyrus is one of those commanders where I think it's impossible to... Xyrus is one of those commanders where I think it's impossible to build a soft Xyrus deck because the commander is like a one-stop shop to fuck everybody up. And if you build a Nekusar deck, you end up same-facing everything because there's only so many cards in Grixis that do the thing Nekusar cares about. So I think you've given yourself the color, you've spread yourself thin enough in your vain desire to play Xyrus and play Nekusar that you've come out on the other end with a very reasonable deck. Damn Cuff, the only hard win con is Pier. Even that I don't think is a particularly hard win con because it's only a hard win con if you... I mean, what would even make that a hard... Because you could have one of the cards that, like, punched a person when they draw a card, and even then, you're only winning because you're only making one person lose. You're not winning the game. Like, you could have Underworld Dreams. And so I would say even that is like a finisher, but it's relatively soft. Bear Jar, thank you for coming by the stream. Look at this reliable land base. Everybody who tried to tell me that the Moxfield hand feeder was broken when they're on 30 lands. Look at this beautiful energy. Look at us just able to cast whatever we want. And we have a reasonable amount of card draw in the deck. Wow, I love this. We're going to pretend I remembered to play an island at one point. And we're going to tap it for wizard class. Wow, isn't this nice? Look at us just ramp to hell. And we're already murdering them with these two. Look at us having a goddamn win condition. Oh my god, and we have Xyrus in hand 1. Skyrat, thank you so much for gifting those 5 tier 1 subs. Welcome to Dog Heaven, Skyrat. I appreciate your Skyrat. I appreciate your generosity very, very much. Gyre Reach. Boom, we ramping. God, this deck hums. And then we would Xyrus and then Locust God. This is this is art. This is like the mid to high power group hug deck that everybody tries and fails to make. I am impressed. This is, I think, the best bulk playtesting has ever gone. Even here, we don't have to mulligan. We just drop wizard class. And then we drop, let's see, we need 3 to get here. So we have a natural turn off here. At this point, we just drop our commander because we have the money. So now we're on 4. We Teferis. We draw for our next turn. We do that. Say tap 3, draw 2. We can Vandal Blast if we need to. We probably don't need to though. This is like the most stuck. This is the most stuck we've gotten all game. And even this we can tap out to buff wizard class and then dump. We'll pretend we used the Vandal Blast. And then we have Consecrated Sphinx. Teferis doesn't only doubles non-draw step draws. So I've been waiting to have non. Oh, wizard class, yeah, I should have gotten 4. Oh, and no max hand size. Yeah, so we don't have to discard either. So we'd have 2 more cards in hand, both of which are fucking phenomenal. This is a luxury ride. This deck is nice. Obviously it's not, you know, super high power because it's not trying to win the game on its own. This is all lands. Let's see if it works anyway. Let's see if it just fucking works anyways. We have Bowies. So we'll hold Bowies. We'll pretend we held it back. We're going to cultivate. Island. I'm just grabbing whatever I see first. I'm not even going to try to fix the colors because the deck doesn't need the help. Next turn. We'll do that. Get our... Oh, we'll pretend I played a forest like a smart boy. Play our commander next turn. Fucking, then we Blood Crypt, then we play our other partner. Yeah, I would say Badgers, I would say it's a legitimate shout to say Thrasios instead of Kydel. But Kydel does care about the theme. Thrasios really doesn't. But I have not needed to use Kydel the whole game. And this is the worst playtest we've had, and we kept a hand that had... Like, we did not mulligan once. We kept a hand that had 6 lands. So, on the topic of making it better, right? The things to improve... is more things that are painful or more things that draw just you cards, or more of these like one-sided benefits along the lines of Chasm Skulker and Locust God and Xyrus, because we have 17 things that help everybody. So if you want to make a group hug deck stronger, you want to take away from... Oh wait, Consecrated Sphinx is just you. But regardless, however many things help everybody, you would want to take away from the things that help everybody and lean more towards the things that help you, or add tutors for the things that help you the most. Because there's no... Like, I don't think there's one card that seals the deal for you. So this is kind of the perfect deck that would want to have a tutor to fetch whatever like toolbox thing was most appropriate. There's also always like Descent into Avernus isn't really on theme because it's just card draw. Where's that? You could do the Ebony Owl. I don't know if you're breaking max hand size enough. Let's see. Like, Ebony Owl is certainly kind of a reach when... because they need to be starting their hand. They're starting their turns with 7 cards in hand. But you do have a lot, so it could work. But I would get more things that... Count Rostovan Kiss, thank you. Thank you for the drink water redeem. But in terms of vibes, I wouldn't change anything. This is like one of the few decks where it's like fully rubber stamped. The vibes of this deck are beautiful, and I do not think the vibes necessarily need to be different. And if you want the deck to be more effective, now that said, this deck does not give a fuck about winning. This deck only cares about playing the game of Magic and drawing cards, but based on your primer, that is appropriate. So if you want the deck to care about winning, then we can be much more critical about certain cards, and maybe swap them out for better things. But in terms of vibes, this is right on. And the best thing you could do to help with the vibes are to drop the least effective cards for tutors for your more effective cards. To basically have like this, have a more consistent version of the same deck that already exists. Because I feel like I could give you, like, you could start this game with 3 lands and 4 tutors in your opening hand, and it would still be a fair and fun game of Magic. Boo, tutors are boring. G-Man, those are the words of people that play things that make tutors boring. Tutors themselves are a way to give decks greater consistency, and if giving your deck greater consistency makes your deck boring, it means that the things you put in your deck are boring. This deck specifically, I would not say with confidence that it's tutoring the same thing even a quarter of the time. And that is what makes tutors boring. What makes the core thing that makes a tutor boring is when you have a shitty deck that is held together by a 2-card combo, and you tutor for that 2-card combo every single day of the week. Thank you so much, baby. But if you have a deck that functions, and you have a deck that has good vibes, and the tutors make the deck able to operate on those vibes, they're better. And it's a natural part. I used to hate them in every instance. I used to always say, never play tutors, there's never anything worth tutoring for, yada yada yada. And it is a point everyone will reach. I mean, G-Man, the thing is, like, variance at some point, where does that argument stop? Because that is just a slippery slope with card draw. Because when you say, oh yeah, if your table hates tutors, then there's no point drawing their ire just to make the deck like 1 point more consistent. But if we're hating on tutors from the purpose of the variance of commander is integral to the format and tutors go against it, you also shouldn't play cards like Opt. Because when you play a cantrip, what you're saying is, rather than drawing this card, I would like to draw a different card, please. And tutors also say that. They just say, instead of drawing this card, I would like to have drawn a very specific card, please. And this cantrip argument extends to every single card draw card in the game. There is a difference, but it is a difference of degree rather than a difference of kind. And so I'm saying, if you think that tutors fundamentally go against the spirit of commander, then card draw also fundamentally goes against the spirit of commander, and we're just arguing over the degree. Because there's always, like, if we're saying you need to live by the variance, then you should just say, like, well, whatever one card you got that turn, that's the one card you're playing that turn. And if you're trying to draw more cards, you're trying to escape the variance. Because that's what card draw attempts to do. Like a deck like this that attempts to have everybody draw 5 cards a turn, its purpose is already to defeat variance. A deck like Niv Mizzet. Okay, Sorion broke it. I've encountered the problem that my tutor was always used for a clearly superior card in my deck. I started running less tutors and less generic value cards, which resulted in a more fun deck. That is the exact reason I'm recommending it for this deck, because there is not a clearly superior card you fetch every time. The reason tutors often feel terrible, and the reason they often go against the spirit of the format, is because people run generic value cards like Ragavan and Heuristic Study and Smothering Tithe, and if you have a tutor in your opening hand, it always grabs the same thing. I don't believe that this deck does that, which is the only reason I would suggest it. Yeah, mana ramp is also variance elimination. I think the tutors lower the variance too much, and card draw doesn't do it nearly as much. That is a fair point, and then it's just, but that's also like down to whatever your personal preference on the variance is. But to but there's also plenty of things like, there's plenty of tutors like Diabolic Tutor, where I find it more boring to be like 7 turns into a commander game and nobody has anything to fucking do anymore because people are trusting in variance and we're variancing to a non-game. I am the first person to hate on tutors when it is, I'm going to tutor for Mystic Remora, or I'm going to draw this tutor and then I'm going to get Smothering Tithe and then I'm going to sit back and wait. But the idea that we inherently need a whole lot of variance is, I think, neglectful of what every commander deck tries to do by eliminating variance. And G-Man, I hate that shit. I find it lame and weak, and I think everybody's commander games in the world would improve if they didn't do it. And I think the decks that run those combos should just at most run card draw instead. But I also hate the argument of, I have a 2-card combo in my deck, but it's okay because I don't tutor for it. I personally would rather see tutors in a deck like this than no tutors in a deck that has a 2-card win the game infinite. Not that you're advocating for that. I'm just saying that is to a degree why I am espousing the mindset that I'm espousing right now, is because I am trying to bully people into building the type of decks I would be cool with seeing tutors in, if that makes sense. But that said, Damcuff, phenomenal deck. Again, on vibes, no changes. On power, there's certainly something like on power we can revisit it on a whole other on a whole other basis. On vibes, we're gonna move on to Crazy Moose's deck, which is silly. The commander is chosen purely for his colors and alternate casting. The real commander is an enchantment that is marked by its category and should switch the framework of the entire deck once in play. Interesting. Okay. So it has dash cost. So we're bouncing our commander back and forth. Let me look for this enchantment. The real... Oh boy! You don't deserve tutors. Fuck you. No, no, no. Put him down. You put him down right the fuck now. You don't get these. You are a monster. You are an absolute crackhead monster. Everything is dash? Oh my god, it's all dash. Oh Jesus, it's all... Oh, well, and Norin. It's all dash and Norin the Wary. Pay 0 so that you get nothing part 2. Charge counter Boogaloo. Monkey's Paws. And then Abyssal Persecutor. Oh, this is so good at what it is. And what it is so fucking terrible. We gotta take you to the penis exploding chamber, my friend. This is the perfect execution of somebody that just hates their friends. I'm gonna eat a piece of sushi because you've upset me. I don't know. My girlfriend picked it up for me, which is very kind of them. Oh, look, we have Demonic Tutor on our opening hand. I wonder what we could be fetching with it. Okay, it's tapped. Let's go get the fucking commander, I guess. So that goes to hand. Let's play our commander, I guess. Okay, so it's turn 4. It's turn 4, and we have confusion in the ranks. We steal something. I mean, holy shit. I'm just trying to think of like... This is a deck that is absolutely like, you could have asked people to just like come over and hang out. If you were this hard up for human interaction. Actually, no, the person that tries to build this type of deck, it makes sense. Holy fuck. It's just so... Because the tutors aren't even dead in hand. Because even after you get the enchantment out, you just tutor for one of these 0 cost things. And then you swap it with that. Oh, and you have 36. Of course you have a responsible land base. Of course you are making sure that this deck is gonna work. You can't change any of these cards. You just need to change as a person. None of the cards need changing, but your soul needs changing. Like, let's see, your commander's an enchantment. Abigail, so what this deck does is confusion in the ranks. Whenever somebody plays an artifact, creature, or enchantment, you choose another thing on the battlefield that's the same type, and then you swap them. And so the point of this deck is to play that, and every other creature they have has a dash cost. And when you play something for its dash cost, it will bounce back to your hand at the end of the turn. So they will play Death Greeter's Champion. They will swap owner control of Death Greeter's Champion with a different creature. And then at the end of the turn, Death Greeter's Champion will still bounce back to their hand, because dash bounces it back specifically to its owner's hand and not its controller's hand. That sounds fun exactly once, and if you don't play with dash creatures, it is... I will say, this is exactly the type of deck you bring against people who lie about the power level of their decks. What if confusion in the ranks gets removed, though? What is the game plan then? That is a good point. We have 3 pieces of recursion. Counterpoint. Commander players do not play enchantment removal. I know that because I'm commander players. I've never brought enchantment removal once. Bean, stop poking the viewers. Stop arguing. Thoughts on adding Greed's Gambit? I think Bean is right. G-Man, you stop poking the mods. I'll whack your pee-pee. Tan Shirt, thank you for the Prime sub. Welcome back to the dog home, my friend. What I'm worried about with Greed's Gambit is Greed's Gambit is dead in hand until someone else has played an enchantment. People will basically always have creatures out for you to steal. Yeah, honestly, if we want to commit to this, like, let's really get into it. Let's have another backup commander. Let's have another backup commander. Like, if we're going to... If we're gonna not let people do shit, because this is evil. There's no saving this deck. There's no win condition. There is a theme, and that theme is I am a bastard man. And if you're gonna be a bastard man, be a bastard man. Oh, this would be good. Oh, yeah, my bad. Possibility Storm was in here under tutors. Christ. I do think Insurrection would be a good include as like literally one card in the deck that tries to make you win the game. I think it's good to have one card in your commander deck that cares about winning the game. But goddamn, Moose, you really are crazy. That is horrifying. We're going to move on to Rukak's deck, which is scary. I'm traditionally a modern/legacy player. This was my first attempt at an EDH deck. The deck is just trying to win old school with creatures on the battlefield attacking, though I tossed in a few infinite combos so a match may occasionally end. Alright. We'll fix you, Rukak. Just trying to win old school with creatures on the field. 40 goddamn slivers. I don't need to look at these. I know these say do bullshit. I know every single sliver says do bullshit. Alright, enchantments tap for mana. Survival of the fittest, City of Solitude, Mana Echoes, fucking Smothering Tithe. Goddamn Smothering. Yeah, jail for 1,000 years. Jail for 1,000 years. Glimpse of Nature is crazy. Killing Wave is also crazy when you're the person shitting on the board. Like you have dropped an upper decker and then left a note in the kitchen saying if there are any upper deckers in the toilet, I'm gonna kill myself. Of course we've got tutors. Sure, why not? The X spells I get because you have the fucking mana infinites. I mean, this is fucking horrifying. I mean, truly, if you want it to be... I mean, the way we make this deck better is you stop playing slivers. The way we fix the deck is you play no more slivers, you find God, and we go from there. In terms of $3,000... Oh my god. 34 lands is like, sure, you're within tolerance. Who cares? If you do legitimately want to improve the deck, like the switch from Modern to Legacy, trying to Zerg people is hard because there's way more life, right? Modern Legacy, you need to deal 20 damage. Commander, you need to deal 120 to win the game. For Sliver Queen to do it, I would say generally you want more board wide buffs. Right now you have 40 slivers that you can play, and they're all going to be wriggling little dipshits. And you want more things that will translate to your wriggling little dipshits actually getting the job done. And so I hate that I'm gonna suggest it, but like, this is how Zerg Rush wins. If you really want to stick to every creature is a sliver, coat of arms. Oh, this is color. No, there's one for creature type. I think maybe it's Vanquisher's Banner. But you need more things that say... Oh yeah, you can have Crackerhoof too. Like boom, +X. Icon of Ancestry is also very good. I think it's Door of Destiny. Where the hell is... Oh, Door of Destinies. Oh yeah, if you want one that isn't on the top 10 list of every Kindred deck ever, Beastmaster Ascension. But first and foremost, you and Crazy Moose, you guys might need to go to therapy together. I'm trying to see. I don't know if anything's wrong with your curve because most slivers are pretty low to the ground. But every... You also, like, you need some shit to draw some... You need to touch some goddamn cards, and you need to touch the Lord. Cards first, though. The Lord can wait. I think you need to cut the worst slivers for things that let you draw more cards or get more slivers onto the field, because that's what's going to prevent this deck from actually zerging. Is you have like an opening hand of 3 lands, 4 slivers. You fart 3 slivers and then stop, and then they board wipe, and then you're done. And so you want more things that are like, God, this is the most generic, expensive version of it, but you want a thing that's like, oh, I pooped a little bit, I get to draw a card because I pooped. But you're in 5 colors, so you can just have things. You can just have fucking... You can have the good blue card draw. This guy's really good. But you need some things that draw some cards. I would not recommend Glorious Sunrise. Folk Hero's okay, yeah. I don't think you want Skull Clamp because Skull Clamp relies on Skull Clamp relies on all your other strategies failing, and we'd rather do things to make your buff strategy succeed. No, G-Man, I also think Craterhoof is boring, but I think Slivers is boring, and at this point we have boring and bad, and we are going to try to get to boring and effective before we get to exciting. Kindred Dominance would be okay. Android's Forerunners, also good. But you need more stuff. Some slivers are just anthems, and even those are like not the worst. take Dormant Sliver out. This stops your whole deck. Like, it's card draw, but it also stops your whole deck. I think Root Sliver is coward behavior. But you have 40. You have 40 right now. You need to cut like 5. Pick the 5 to 10 worst ones. Put some card draw in. Put the boars in. This one's probably too expensive. Hunwin, it's Patreons only, so you do need to sign up for the Patreon to get in on the deck roasting. But this is the werewolf hunger that every modern and legacy player has, which is like, oh, I just need to beat you to death. I think that, G-Man, that is a good call out. I think the things I would remove to make the deck more thematic is Torment of Hailfire in particular. I know it's a mana dump, but Finale of Devastation is also a mana dump. And you can... I think I would look for mana dumps that also seeked to win through I'm going to Zerg Rush you, rather than like, okay, the Zerg Rush isn't working, so I'm going to make infinite mana and then do this totally unrelated thing to kill you all. And even though any number of slivers is too many slivers, my brother in Christ, you have too many slivers. Oh yeah, Triumph of the Hordes. This is merciful. This is merciful to let motherfuckers out of this game. So I would like Torment of Hailfire out, Triumph of the Hordes in. Triumph of the Hordes probably wins you more games than Torment of Hailfire does. And then again, really make sure you find a mental health provider near you. Oh, Descendant's Path would be incredible for this deck. Unfortunately. Unfucking fortunately. But yeah, Rukak, seek help. Thank you to all of our patrons who signed up for deck roasting. That is going to be it for today. We are going to be back at 1 p.m. tomorrow. Are you going to pick up Temur Ascendancy, yes or no? Probably no. I don't think you have many things entering with 4 power or greater. But anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow at 1 p.m. Pacific. Thank you all for joining me. Rukak, seek help soon. I hope you're having a good week. And remember to stay toxic, everybody.